Ariela Vargas had always been the dreamer in a family of pragmatists. Born to a single mother in the shadow of the Empire State Building, she grew up inhaling the metallic tang of subway vents and the faint, elusive scent of her mother's Chanel No. 5. Evelyn Vargas was a force, a Latina powerhouse who clawed her way from bodega cashier to senior editor at a glossy Manhattan magazine. Her days a blur of deadlines and dry martinis. She raised Ariela with iron-willed love, the kind that built fortresses but left no room for cracks. "We make our own luck, Mija," Evelyn would say, her voice a velvet whip, as she taught Ariela to code before she could cursive, to negotiate allowances like business deals. But beneath the hustle, there was a softness Evelyn reserved for stolen moments. Late-night PBS documentaries on far-flung places, her finger-tracing coastlines on faded atlases. "Someday, Ari," she'd murmur, "you and me will chase the horizon. Spain first, the real Spain, not the tourist traps. Western coast, where the waves crash like thunder and the wine flows like secrets." Ariela, all gangly limbs and wide-eyed wonder at 8, would nod fiercely, etching those promises into her soul like tattoos. By high school, Ariela's world tilted. She fell for Sofia Ramirez in the girls' locker room, the brush of a towel igniting something electric and terrifying. Evelyn found the love notes, creased valentines scented with strawberry lip gloss, and the fortress walls slammed shut. "This isn't us, Ariela," she said that night over takeout lo mein, her eyes steel gray. "You're confused. Boys will come. Focus on your future." No yelling, no tears. Just a chasm that widened with every forced smile at family barbecues. Every deleted text from crushes who looked like joy but weren't her yet. College at NYU was Ariela's rebellion in whispers. She studied environmental science, her thesis on sustainable coastal ecosystems, a love letter to those promised horizons. She came out fully junior year, over rainbow jello shots at a West Village Pride party, but Evelyn's response was a masterclass in deflection. "Proud of you for being brave, Mija. Now about that internship in D.C. The travel dreams lingered though, dusted off like heirlooms during Ariela's post-grad slumps. At 24, jobless in a city that chewed dreams for breakfast, Ariela pitched the Spain trip over Easter brunch. "Mom, it's time. You and me like you said. Galicia's cliffs, the pilgrim trails, we'll hike the Camino, talk about everything." Evelyn's fork paused midair, her Botox-smooth forehead creasing just a fraction. "Spain? Now. With the magazine folding branches, and your rent due." But then a spark rare genuine. "Okay, Ari. Book it. Mother's Day gift to us both. We'll leave in June." June came sweltering. Ariela's savings gutted for 2 one-ways to Madrid, her carry-on stuffed with Evelyn's favorite manchego, and a leather-bound journal for Our Stories. She arrived at JFK 3 hours early, heart drumming like a bodega radio. Evelyn was late, traffic, she texted. Then nothing. Ariela paced gates, scrolling voicemails until the final boarding call. At 6:47 p.m. her phone buzzed. "Emergency at work, Mija. Flight's non-refundable, go without me? Love you." Go without her? The words blurred through hot tears. Ariela didn't board. She dragged her suitcase home to an empty apartment, the silence louder than any scream. Days blurred into numbness. Texts unanswered, Evelyn's socials blooming with Madrid selfies. Tapas plates, gaudy spires, captions like solo adventures hit different boss mom. Betrayal tasted like bile. Ariela canceled her return, cashed out the rest of her savings, and booked a solo flight anyway. Not for Evelyn, for herself. Western Spain, the wild Atlantic fringe, where promises broke like waves. The flight to Santiago de Compostela was a haze of in-flight wine and bad rom-coms. Ariela landed jet-lagged, the Galician air crisp with salt and eucalyptus, so unlike New York's smog-choked exhale. She rented a beat-up Fiat, its engine coughing like an old smoker, and pointed it west toward Fisterra, the end of the world, where pilgrims ended their Camino with bonfires and rebirths. The road unspooled like a ribbon. Emerald hills stitched with stone walls, villages huddled against the wind, the ocean a constant sapphire tease on the horizon. Her first night was in a pension in Murcia, a fishing hamlet where the Virgin of the Rocks supposedly saved sailors. The room smelled of damp linen and sea brine, the bed sagging under her exhaustion. She unpacked the journal, pen hovering. Day 1, arrived alone. Mom's in Madrid, pretending it's fate. What if it's mine? Sleep came fitful dreams of suitcases exploding in slow motion. Morning brought fog-shrouded cliffs and a compulsion to walk. Ariella laced up her boots, practical ones scuffed from Central Park trails, and followed a dirt path to the sanctuary of the Virgin. The church squatted on a promontory, its stone facade weathered by centuries of gales. Inside, candles flickered like hesitant confessions, locals murmuring prayers in Gallego. Ariella lit one for Evelyn, whispering, "Forgive me for leaving you behind too." Outside, the path forked. One to the beach, one steeper toward the lighthouse. She chose the lighthouse, lungs burning as the incline steepened. At the top, wind-whipped and triumphant, she paused to catch her breath. And that's when she saw her. The woman was mid-30s maybe, perched on a boulder like a sentinel, sketchpad balanced on her knee, auburn hair whipping like flames in the breeze. She wore a faded denim jacket over a sundress, freckles dusting her nose like cinnamon, green eyes narrowed in concentration as her pencil danced across the page. The scene she captured. The lighthouse against roiling clouds, waves clawing at jagged rocks below. Ariella watched, transfixed, until a gust tore a page free, sending it tumbling toward the edge. "Wait!" Ariella lunged, snatching it inches from oblivion. Ink-smeared waves stared back, raw and alive. She handed it over, their fingers brushing electric accidental. "Close call." The woman smiled, slow and warm like sunlight piercing fog. "My hero. Joy Callahan. And you are?" "Ariella Vargas. Just wandering." She shoved hands in pockets, suddenly shy. Joy's eyes, emerald flecked with gold, held hers, seeing too much. "Artist. Cartoonist mostly. Escaped from Seattle for a sabbatical. You. New Yorker. Escaping. Family." The word hung heavy. Joy nodded, no pity, just understanding. They talked then, easy like old friends. Joy's sketches of Pacific Northwest rains. Ariella's urban ecology rants. By noon they shared a picnic of empanadas from a seaside vendor. The wind carrying laughter that felt foreign and freeing. That night, over cider in a taberna thick with fishermen's tales, Joy confessed her own fracture. A decade-long engagement shattered 6 months prior. Her fiancé's abrupt exit for someone simpler. "I came here to draw my way out," she said, tracing foam patterns in her glass. Ariella shared fragments, the promise, the voicemail, the suitcase echo. "She left me standing there. Like I was baggage." Joy's hand covered hers, brief but steady. "Then you're not baggage. You're the whole damn journey." As stars pricked the velvet sky, Ariella felt the first thaw in her chest. A spark, dangerous and alive. Joy walked her back to the pension, their shoulders brushing in the narrow lane. At the door, a hug, warm, lingering. "Tomorrow," Joy murmured. "Tomorrow," Ariella echoed, the word a vow. The days in Musha blurred into a rhythm as intoxicating as the tide. Ariella and Joy became inseparable shadows, their mornings mapped by coastal trails, afternoons lost in hidden coves where the water ran turquoise and cold. Joy's Fiat, hers, a vintage convertible with a convertible top that stuck half-mast, ferried them to Finisterre's lighthouse, where they'd perch on blankets, sharing thermoses of café con leche and stories peeled like onions. Ariella learned Joy's layers first. At 32, Joy was a freelance illustrator for indie graphic novels, her style a whimsical grit that captured the ache of everyday heroes. Raised in Seattle's perpetual drizzle by a librarian mom and a jazz musician dad, she'd always sketched to process. Rainy bus stops, heartbreak doodles on napkins. The engagement fallout had been a slow poison mark, the architect with perfect hair and zero patience for her flights of fancy. He wanted a wife who color-coded closets. Joy laughed bitterly one afternoon, toes buried in black sand beach. "I wanted a partner who saw the magic in the mess." Ariella shared in fits and starts, her guard a New Yorker's armor. Evelyn's climb from Puerto Rican immigrant to media maven was legend in their building. Evelyn, who networked brunches into promotions, who dated Wall Street wolves but never let one stay the night. "She made me tough," Ariella admitted, skipping stones across a tidal pool. "But tough means armored. And armor gets heavy." The Spain promise was their one crack in the facade, a relic from before Ariella's queerness became the unspoken elephant. Evelyn had attended one Pride March, arm linked stiffly, but the photos posted were all performative gloss. Joy listened without fixing, her green eyes a safe harbor. Sounds like she loves you fierce but on her terms. What if you wrote your own? The question burrowed deep. That evening, as bioluminescent waves glowed under a crescent moon, Joy pulled out her sketchpad. Pose for me. Ariella hesitated, then knelt in the surf, dress hiked, hair wild. Joy's pencil flew, capturing the salt-crusted determination in her jaw, the vulnerability in her half-smile. When finished, she tore the page free. For your journal. Proof you're more than promises broken. Ariella's fingers traced the lines, herself unarmored. The spark from that first day ignited, then tentative. Over pulpo a la galega in a cliffside eatery, their knees touched under the table, neither pulling away. Joy's laugh at Ariella's botched Gallego phrases sent warmth pooling low, not lust but longing for touch that meant seeing. That night, walking arm in arm through lantern-lit alleys, Joy stopped under a bougainvillea arch. Ari, this feels like something. Ariella's heart thundered. It is. Their lips met, soft, exploratory, salt and cider, wind and wonder. No rush, just the quiet unfurling of souls starved for home. Word spread in the village. Musha was small, whispers big. The pension owner, Rosa, a widow with a wink like aged rum, slipped Ariella extra towels with conspiratorial grins. Fishermen nodded knowingly at their paired umbrellas against sudden squalls. But paradise had undercurrents. Ariella's phone, silent since landing, buzzed sporadically. Evelyn's texts, first apologetic. Miss you, Mija, Madrid's not the same. Then probing. Where are you? Call. Ariella drafted replies, raw, accusatory, then deleted them, the betrayal too fresh to bridge. Joy sensed the storm. One gray morning, as rain sheeted the convertible's roof, they sheltered in a seaside hermitage. Talk to me, Joy urged, thumbs tracing Ariella's knuckles. The floodgates cracked. The locker room terror, Evelyn's deflections, the airport abandonment as the ultimate rejection. It's like she saw me loving a woman and decided I wasn't worth the ticket. Joy pulled her close, chin on Ariella's crown. That's her fear, not your worth. You deserve parades, Ari, not apologies. They kissed again, deeper, the rain a curtain sealing their world. Joy's hands mapped Ariella's back, gentle anchors. No further. This was building, not burning. Emboldened, Ariella pitched a pilgrimage. The Camino's end is here, Fisterra. Let's walk it backward from coast to soul. Joy agreed, eyes alight. They set out at dawn, packs light with chorizo and figs, the path a muddy ribbon through gorse and granite. Blisters bonded them, laughter echoing off bluffs. At a pilgrim's cross weathered by salt, Ariella confessed deeper. Her eco-dreams, a stalled non-profit idea for coastal conservation, shelved for real jobs. Spain's waking it up. With you. Joy beamed. Then let's make it real. Sketch the proposal, I'll illustrate. That night in a stone albergue, candlelit, they brainstormed over wine. Tides of change. A fund for Galician erosion barriers, blending Ariella's science with Joy's art. Excitement hummed electric. But the tide turned midweek. Ariella's phone, charged by a village cafe, lit with a call. Evelyn. She stepped outside, rain slicking her hair. Mija. Finally. I'm in Barcelona now, extended the trip. Join me? We can salvage this. Ariella's throat tightened. Salvage? You left without me, Mom. Like I was optional. Silence, then Evelyn's voice, edged with that editor's polish. It was work, Ari. You know how it is. Don't be dramatic. Come. I've got tickets. Dramatic. The word stung like salt in a cut. I'm in Fisterra, Mom. With someone. Living the dream you sold me. She hung up, hands shaking, and returned to Joy's open arms. Yet doubt crept. Was this escape or exile? Joy, sensing it, proposed a detour. Cape Finisterre at solstice. Burn what holds you. Ariella nodded, clinging to the flame. As they crested the final hill, the cape unfolded. A rocky finger into infinity, lighthouse stark against bruised skies. Pilgrims gathered, bonfires crackling, shadows dancing like ghosts. Joy and Ariella wrote their burdens on scraps. Ariella's read unkept promises, armored love. Joy's simpler chains. They tossed them into flames, watching embers rise like freed prayers. Under starfire, wrapped in a shared blanket, Ariella whispered, I think I'm falling. Joy's reply was a kiss, the world narrowing to heartbeat and horizon. But horizons shift. The next morning as they breakfasted on fresh percebes, Ariella's phone buzzed again. Not Evelyn, but an email from a Seattle contact Joy had looped in. Interest in tides of change. A grant lead, real momentum. Joy hooped, spinning Ariella in the sand. Success budding. Evelyn's shadow loomed though. A photo pinged. Her at Sagrada Familia. Caption wishing you were here, Mija family first. Ariella's joy dimmed. She's trying now. Too late. Joy squeezed her hand. Your call. But remember, you're the journey. The road from Fisterra wound inland, a serpentine escape from the coast's relentless pull. But Ariella felt the pull within, toward Joy, toward this fragile new self, and inexorably back to the woman who'd mapped her stars yet dimmed them. They traded the convertible for a rattling bus to Pontevedra, a medieval jewel of arcaded streets and flower-draped plazas, where the air hummed with market chatter and the sizzle of grilled sardines. Joy's sabbatical had weeks left. Ariella's return loomed like a guillotine. Stay, Joy urged over gelato in the Piazza de Ferreria, her spoon clinking like a plea. Build this with me. Ariella wanted to, God she did. The grant email had snowballed. A video call with funders, her pitch laced with Galician specifics, Joy's mock-ups projected behind. Tides of Change wasn't vapor anymore. It was viable. A bridge from personal ache to planetary heal. But Evelyn's messages escalated. Voicemails laced with vulnerability. I miss our talks, Mija. Then guilt. You always were the stubborn one. Ariella played them for Joy during a rainy siesta, the patter on tiled roofs a somber underscore. She's reeling you in, Joy said softly, no judgment. Like she did with the promises. Ariella paced the room, its whitewashed walls closing in. But what if it's real this time? What if Spain's the catalyst for both of us? She booked a high-speed train to Barcelona one way, promising Joy a weekend reunion. Go back, face her. Then decide. The avenue blurred Galicia's green into Catalonia's urban sprawl. Ariella's reflection in the window a ghost. Sun-kissed but eyes shadowed. Barcelona assaulted her senses. Gaudy swirls, the Ramblas pickpocket pulse, the sea a distant murmur. Evelyn waited at their hotel, a boutique spot in the Gothic quarter, her arms opening like a prodigal's welcome. Mija. She smelled of jasmine and jet lag, hugging tight enough to bruise. Over paella that night the dam broke. Evelyn spoke first, wine loosening her polish. I panicked, Ari. The job layoffs looming. And you're so you. Bold, unapologetic. It scared me leaving you behind, but staying felt like admitting I couldn't keep up. Tears tracked her foundation, rare as eclipses. Ariella's turn. The airport void, the solo flight's terror, the love she'd found in salt winds. You left because of me, Mom. Because I'm this. Evelyn recoiled, then softened. No. Because I'm flawed. Your father, my ex, left for the same reason. Too much. I swore I'd never let go, but I did. With you. It wasn't absolution but a thread frayed, mendable. They walked the Barri Gothic after, arms linked, Evelyn pointing out hidden courtyards like old times. Proud of you, Ariella. Truly. That eco thing? Sounds revolutionary. The weekend stretched tender. Sagrada Familia's spires piercing dawn. Montserrat's monastery hikes where Evelyn confessed her own buried queerness. A college fling with a roommate, silenced by era's cruelty. I see you in me, she admitted, voice cracking. Ariella forgave, not fully but enough to breathe. Joy's texts anchored her. Miss your fire. Barcelona treating you? Back in Pontevedra, Joy waited with sketches of their non-profit logo. A wave cradling a lighthouse, resilient. Their reunion was fireworks. A dance in a plaza to Galician bagpipes. Bodies swaying close, whispers of futures. But conflict brewed. The grant required incorporation. Ariella's NYC base ideal for U.S. funding. Come with me, she begged Joy one twilight, as they picnicked on almond cakes. Seattle's rainy, but we could. Joy hesitated, green eyes storm-tossed. My life's their gig's roots. But you're my horizon. The kiss that followed was desperate. A dam against distance. Fate or folly intervened. Evelyn, ever the networker, emailed contacts. My daughter's launching something big. Doorstraket, TDX invites, investor bites. Ariella's success swelled. Profiles in ecoblogs, her face beaming from LinkedIn. Joy illustrated the pitch deck, their collaboration a quiet triumph. Then betrayal's echo. Ariella's phone lit during a funding call. Evelyn uninvited at the magazine's gala.
Mia, come celebrate?
I've pitched your project, got a donor lined up. Pride surged, then suspicion. The donor? Evelyn's old flame, Victor Hale, a venture shark with coastal resorts that partnered via greenwashing. Ariella's gut twisted. Evelyn, leveraging her for clout, twisting salvation into strings. She confronted over FaceTime, Joy's hand in hers. Mom, this isn't a footnote to your comeback. It's mine. Evelyn's face crumpled. I was helping. Victor's connected. Connected to exploitation. His eco-resorts displaced locals. The call ended in static, Ariella's world tilting. Joy held her through the sobs. You choose now. Us or her script. The climax crested in a Coruña, where they retreated for clarity. Tower of Hercules loomed, Roman sentinel to tempests. Ariella climbed alone at dusk, wind howling recriminations. At the summit, phone in hand, she called Evelyn. I'm done chasing your someday. I found mine in Spain, enjoy in this work. Evelyn's plea. Don't throw us away. Ariella's reply. I'm building us new. Below, Joy waited, sketchpad open. Not waves but two figures on a cliff, hands entwined. Your success isn't solo, she said. They descended together, the city lights winking like allies. But Evelyn wasn't done. A week later, unannounced, she appeared in Pontevedra. Suitcase in tow, eyes red-rimmed. I quit the magazine, Mija. Victor was a mistake. Let me see what you've built. Evelyn's arrival in Pontevedra was a squall. Sudden, drenching, stirring sediments long settled. She stood in the plaza's fountain mist, designer trench sodden, looking smaller than Ariella remembered. Crow's feet deepening, the Chanel faded to thrift store echo. I drove from Barcelona, she said, voice raw. All night. To say. I'm sorry. For real. Ariella, mid-market run with Joy for figs and tortilla cheese, froze. Joy's grip tightened, supportive steel. Mom. You can't just. I know. Evelyn's gaze flicked to Joy, assessing, then softening. You must be the someone. Hi. Evelyn. Joy extended a hand, steady. Joy. We've heard. A lot. No warmth but civility. A bridge, not a burn. They retreated to a cafe with velvet banquettes and espresso strong as resolve. Evelyn ordered cortados, her editor's poise cracking over small talk. Galician rains, the town's Roman ghosts. Then the deluge. I saw your TEDx clip, Ari. The one on title Resilience. You lit up that stage, passion, poise. Like me but better. And the mentions of Joy, your partner. She swallowed. It hit me. I've been running from my past, from you. But success? Yours looks like freedom. Mine was just survival. Ariella's throat ached. Then why the donor push? Victor's not ally. He's empire. Evelyn winced. Ego. Classic me, fixing with favors. I called him off. Told him to shove his check. A beat. Let me help write. Not as savior, as mom. Joy watched, silent, sage, then spoke. Help means listening. Ari's journey isn't ours to steer. Evelyn nodded, chastened. The trio's truce tested over days. Evelyn bunked at the pension, trailing their routines. Site visits to erosion-hit beaches, where Ariella measured sediment with Joy's illustrated maps. Evelyn's questions were genuine, probing policy gaps, her media savvy spotting PR angles. One evening, as they mapped funding flows on a cafe napkin, Evelyn sketched a timeline, her pen precise. This could go national. Latina-led, queer-inclusive. Magazines would eat it up. Ariella bristled. Not a hook, Mom. The work. Understood. But the spark was there. Evelyn repurposed her hustle for good. Joy and Ariella's bubble stretched, inclusive now. Nights they'd steal away to coves. Evelyn's blessing a quiet gift. She's trying. Joy murmured one starlit swim, their bodies buoyant. But you're the captain. Their love deepened, conversations till dawn on art's soul, science's ethics. Touches that map trust, not territory. Joy's sketches evolved. Ariella not solo but woven with waves, lighthouses, now a third figure, Evelyn tentative on the shore. Conflict simmered though. Grant deadlines loomed. Ariella's visa waned. NYC for incorporation, she told Joy over breakfast churros. But hybrid, you in Seattle, me splitting coasts? Joy's face shadowed. Distance dilute, sorry. I want all in. Evelyn, overhearing, interjected. Then all in here. Spain's got EU grants, remote setups. I can consult bridge US donors. Her eyes pleaded redemption stake. Ariella wavered. The climax brewed at a local festival, Romeria Vikinga in Katwara, wine-soaked boats turned galleons, revelers in horned helmets splashing through shallows. Amid foam and fiddles, Evelyn pulled Ariella aside. I booked a flight home. If you stay, I get it. But no, I'm proud. And I'll visit often. No more some days. Tears stung. You mean it? Swear on your abuela's rosary. They hugged fierce, the crowd a joyful blur. Joy found her later, ale-foamed and flushed. She leaving? For now. Ariella's voice cracked. But us. Joy's grin broke wide. Us? Let's Viking this, raid the unknown. They danced then, wild and wet, Evelyn cheering from the bank, a mother reborn. Success crested post-festival. The grant awarded, Euro 50K seed. Headlines in El País. American duo saves Galician shores. Ariella's phone exploded. NYU alums? Ecopods, Evelyn's forwards. Joy's illustrations went viral. Her inbox gigs from Europe. Evelyn's departure was airport bittersweet. Madrid this time, her own Camino. Call me partner, not mom if it fits, she joked, hugging Joy too. Take care of my girl. On the drive back, Ariella and Joy crested a hill. The Atlantic a silver promise. What now? Joy asked. Everything, Ariella breathed. With you. Months wove into a tapestry richer than any atlas. Ariella and Joy rooted in Pontevedra. Their flat a sunlit area overlooking the Ria. Floor-to-ceiling windows framing tides that mirrored their ebb and flow. Tides of Change launched with fanfare. A beachfront office in Murcia, staffed by locals trained in monitoring tech. Joy's murals adorning walls with waves that whispered resilience. Ariella led fieldwork, her boots caked in clay, while Joy freelanced globally, her graphic novels now laced with coastal lore. Video calls bridged to Evelyn, who consulted from a downsized Manhattan walk-up, her pitches landing features in the Atlantic. From broken promises to tidal triumphs. Evelyn visited quarterly, her arrivals heralded by care packages. Manchego wheels, NYC bagels, dog-eared Hemingway. She and Joy bonded over wine-soaked debates. Feminism's fractures, arts activism. One Christmas, Evelyn arrived with a tree stubby, queen style, and ornaments from Ariella's childhood. For new traditions, she said, stringing lights with Joy's help. That night, fireside, Evelyn raised a glass. To horizons we chase together. No more solos. Ariella's heart swelled. Forgiveness not erasure but evolution. The betrayal's scar faded to silver. A reminder of growth's grit. Challenges came, human as the sea. A storm surge tested barriers, forcing all-nighters. Grant audits unearthed bureaucratic thorns. Joy's old doubts surfaced in quiet hours. Am I enough anchor for your storm? Ariella's reply. Walks to the lighthouse, hands clasped, vows renewed in whispers. You're the light. Success amplified. UN recognition. A book deal for Ariella's memoir. Horizons Unpromised, illustrated by Joy. Evelyn blurbed it. My daughter's story rewriting ours. Book tour split them briefly. Ariella to coasts, Joy to cons, but reunions were feasts. Rooftop toasts in Bilbao, cliffside picnics where proposals bloomed. It happened on that first cliff anniversary eve. Joy knelt ring simple, sapphire wave, gold lighthouse. Ariella Vargas, end-of-world wanderer. Marry me? Let's build forever. Tears, yes, kisses, salt sweet. They called Evelyn mid-dawn, her squeal echoing. Mijas. I'll plan everything. Galician wedding, NYC reception. The ceremony was humanistic poetry. Murcia beach at equinox, pilgrims mingling with queer kin flown in. Evelyn walked Ariella down a pebble aisle. Joy waiting in sundress white as foam. Vows wove science and soul. I promised to measure our tides, not tame them. Rings exchanged under lighthouse gaze, the ocean's roar applause. Evelyn's toast cracked voices. I left you once, Ari, foolish, fearful. But you found your way and mine. To love that returns richer. Joy's mom from Seattle added, to sketches come alive. As waves lapped vows, Ariella glanced at Evelyn, eyes bright. Hand enjoys mom's a quiet spark. Horizons after all circled back. Years later, with tides global, satellites tracking shifts, chapters in Lisbon, Lima, Ariella and Joy parented via village adoptions. Two girls, fierce as gales, taught to draw and dive. Evelyn retired to a coastal casita nearby. Her final book a dual memoir, Mother and Maverick. On her porch, rocking with grandbabies, she'd murmur to Ariella, "We traveled together, Mija. The long way." And in the quiet as sun dipped to gold, Ariella knew. Promises broken birthed better ones. Success wasn't acclaim or grants, but this love reclaimed, waves witnessed, a family forged from fractures. The end of one world, the dawn of endless.